What's up, guys? So I've had people ask me, how do you make your Instagram story videos? And so I thought I would do a quick tutorial on my workflow, what I use, how I accomplish making these videos. So number one, I shoot all of the videos on a Canon 60D, which is what I'm recording on right now. And the software that I use is Adobe Premiere Pro. First off, I do want to say that you can do this on any video editing software, Final Cut, iMovie, any of those. Premiere Pro does take a lot of CPU, so if your computer cannot handle it, if it takes really long to render, then I would recommend not using Premiere Pro. I personally love it. It has a lot of great features. My workflow has become really fast in it. It's all about your workflow when you make videos. That is one thing that I do want to express, is that you can do this in pretty much any software. But first off, so over here in Premiere Pro, this is what it shows up as a blank session. So I have over here this one clip. This was a video, so I'm going to click and drag that in. Okay, so first off, you're looking at this and you're like, okay, why is this sideways? How do I make that to where it's straight up and down? So this right now is shot in landscape. It's showing up as landscape. So it's going by a 16:9 aspect ratio, which we want it to be in Instagram story. So we want to flip it so it's a 9:16 aspect ratio. So whenever I shoot these videos on my camera, I'm not shooting it like normal, like just like this. I'm turning it so it's vertical. So how do I change this so that it is correct? So up here in the top, I go to sequence, and I go to sequence settings, and here I'm going to the frame size, and it's 16:9, 1920 by 1080. I'm gonna change it to 1080 by 1920, and it's gonna say this. I'm gonna say yes. Okay, so now pretty much it changed what my frame size is. Now I have to change my actual footage to that. So depending on which way you kind of shot your video, you're gonna flip it for that. So it's either gonna be 90 degrees or 270. So this was shot, well, I got it wrong, so it's 270. So boom, so 270. So boom, and then right there. Okay, so cool, we're right there. One thing I usually do though in this is whenever I import my footage into the sequence, is what it's called, I can actually pick where my beginning point is. So I is for import.
What is up?
Okay, I want it to be a little bit centered. Right there. Boom, I want that to be my out point, so I actually can just delete that. Drag this back in. And usually I'll put music underneath it, kind of. I'm just giving you a general idea of what I'm using here. So boom, so I've got that.
$10 for roller skates, bring $11.
Next, to get it to like how I want it to look, so I can go up here and I can adjust. So I think like the highlights are a little blown out. I usually go, so I go to my lumetri scope. So next, what I do is, so I go to back to here to my main, I make an adjustment layer. I create that, I put that in, and I drag it over the whole, because what I'm gonna put on top of this, so I have a plugin that I've been using recently. It's called Mojo by Red Giant. Red Giant has some really good plugins. One of them is a really good color correction software called Colorista. I wish that I could afford it, but it's like $300. So Mojo is $100. It's a really good plugin, gives you a really cinematic look. So if I go to video effects, I go down here to Red Giant Magic Bullet, Mojo 2, I click, and I'm applying that to my adjustment layer. And straight off, it doesn't look very good, but we are going to tweak it and make it look better. So then another thing that I like to do is to like give it, I have these presets from Peter McKinnon. So what I do is, so I go in here and I take these LUTs. My favorite one is called Kodak Killer. And I put that on, I lower the intensity down a little bit. The shadows are a little, on his face, are a little too much for me. Okay, so I've gotten to this point. But now one thing that I'm seeing in this footage is that it's really shaky. I don't have a stabilizer. I had my camera strap around my neck and I was holding it out to keep it as steady as I could. Or, you know, there's different methods you could do. So one thing that Premiere Pro has is a warp stabilizer is what it's called. So
what is up, Rev SM?
see this right?
Friday we're going to be meeting here at the church at 7 o'clock p.m.
So it's really shaky, pretty shaky, not overly shaky, but it can be better. So one thing that you have to do a thing called nesting your sequence. It won't let you warp stabilize footage weirdly without nesting it. I don't specifically know why. The key for like the frames of it or something just mess up. So if you nest your sequence, I go over here back to video effects and I go into distort. I go into warp stabilizer. And it's going to analyze this over here, and it takes just a second, so I'm not going to make you guys wait on that. I'm going to speed this up, and this could take a while depending on how big, how much movement is in the file. Okay, we are, all right, and there we go, stabilizing, and boom. Okay, so you're thinking like, oh, okay, cool, I'm going to press play on this, and we're going to be all good. So
what is up, Rev SM? This Friday we're going to be meeting here at the church at 7 o'clock p.m. to go roller skating. $10 for roller skates, bring $11 if you're too cool for us and you want to rollerblade. Don't forget to invite your friends, and I hope to see you there.
Alright, so that's actually not too bad, actually. You know, it's not, that video wasn't as shaky, so the warp stabilizer works really well on that. The only problem is on other videos and stuff like that, so what it does is it takes the corners and it just kind of like pins them. And so like it kind of crops it a little bit, but also sometimes you'll see a little bit of movement on overly shaky footage. So a lot of times I literally drop this down to like 10%, 5% on some stuff. So I'm going to drop this to like 10%. It's going to analyze it again really fast here. It usually does it really fast, and boom.
What is up, Rev SM? This Friday we're going to be meeting here at the church at 7 o'clock p.m. to go roller skating. $10 for roller skates, bring $11 if you're too cool for us.
Cool. Let's still even just like, let's go down to 5. 5% is really good. 5-10% right around there is what I go to. So now, you know, boom, I have it.
What is up, Rev SM? This Friday we're going to be meeting here at the church at 7 o'clock p.m. to go roller skating. $10 for roller skates, bring $11 if you're too cool for us and you want to rollerblade. Don't forget to invite your friends, and I hope to see you there.
So that's pretty good. The only other thing that so some things that I do are audio effects. So I can go in here and put in a parametric EQ, do some compression to make it just clean up the audio a little bit. Those are some other things that I do. Overall, that is pretty much what I do. And then, you know, I'll maybe put some music underneath it. So like, let's say I go in here, stop. So let's just say I go in here and take this song and drag it in, just literally just for kicks and giggles. I'm gonna cut this out, and so over here, -25.
What is up, Rev SM? This Friday we're going to be meeting here at the church at 7 o'clock p.m. to go roller skating. $10 for roller skates, bring $11 if you're too cool for us and you want to rollerblade. Don't forget to invite your friends, and I hope to see you there. What is
that music? That part of the song is really quiet, but you get the point. You know, you can you put it in there. He's talking over it. You have a video. That's pretty much just really fast how I make like an announcement video or videos for Instagram stories that I do just on the fly. So I hope that was an in-depth but kind of really fast run through of how I make my Instagram story videos, how to make them more cinematic looking, using an actual camera, proper ways. If you have any questions or anything, comment below. If you have any questions, give me some ideas of what more stuff I could go over in my videos. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed.